Hi, it's Bex here from channel bexbugoutsurvivor, and what I want to do today is start getting together a lightweight, compact hammock system for the summer, and my challenge is to get it into a 35 litre recon pack. Now I've adapted this here with extra pouches, double ammo pouches, couple on the bottom here. That'll easily accommodate a rectangular army mess tin. Now, one of the problems I had was spanning a greater distance of tree, but that's been solved by 6-foot whoopies. It was a difficult challenge just because I wanted everything in a 35 litre pack. Now, there is a pouch in there to drop a can back for water. That's been tested. There is pouches for canteen sets and stoves. That's been tested. I know that goes in. So let's have a look where we're at so far with how much gear I've just put in 35 litres. And this is it, just laid out in the hammock. This is my goose down under blanket, which has never really fit or really worked for me, but I've modified it, and you're going to have a look at that now. Rolling into shot is the jungle sleeping bag. I would prefer a softy suit over this, if I'm honest with you. The shell, the outer shell, I'm going to use the Sol Escape bivvy. That's going to retain a lot of heat, and just for extra insulation, a small sleeping bag liner. This is a Sea to Summit reactor. Now I'm going to attempt to just put this on. The biggest complaint I had with the hammock gear, under blanket, downfill, it wasn't warm on my back or my backside, but it was warm enough on my knees. So if I curled up on my knees, that would have been alright. Just a lark's head hitch for the 2 bungees either end. There's nothing difficult about that. And I've removed all the channel line, and we're going straight into the hooks with the under blanket, and I'll show you a close-up of that in a minute and show you the simple modifications that have been made to this. This is the head end. It's wider at the head end. And that's about it. Just put the last bungee into place. It's up, and I still should have plenty of stretch. It usually has a cord that runs through this channel here all the way down, and the same on the other side, and it has never worked. I've taken this cord out and directly into the end on this little gadget here, I've just hooked a bungee straight through. There is no need, I think, for this cord. Now, it won't adjust the hammock under blanket up and down, but there's no need. It's centralized perfectly. I have an equal amount of distance between end of hammock and head end than I do foot end and end of hammock. It's identical. I'm just going to give this a go getting in. If I thought for a second this under blanket would keep me warm in the summer months, I'd keep it on. So even without the channel line in here, it has come up over my shoulders, and it is snugging in. This might be the solution I've been looking for ill-fitting hammock under blankets. So far the hammock modification, taking out the channel lines, just putting bungee cords on the end, is working a treat. It's sinking with my weight. I'm not compressing the loft underneath, but it's still snugged up. And if I lie on my side, my knees are covered by the under blanket here. Now on a sleep mat that wouldn't happen, and that was the problem I was having using mats as a solo. I put my knees up like this and my knees would get cold touching only the hammock, so an under blanket around my knees like that really helped keep my knees warm, and my shoulders got cold as well, just on a pad, because it wasn't wrapping around my shoulders, and that was a big issue as well. But this wraps around shoulders, so where was the hammock under blanket falling down? Well, what made it a big issue for me is the underneath, my backside, my back, that section there. When the meridian hour kicked in, you know, the hour before sun up, it is the coldest bit of the day, and I'd freeze. I'd be really cold, and that's a shame. So I can counter that by something else in the pack, which is my 3/4 length inflatable. So in the pack here we have it, and you notice how mine has been folded and tucked in the same dimensions as my pack, and that's for my convenience for storage. Just because something comes to you rolled up doesn't mean you have to keep it in that shape. Now the trouble with mats is they slip, and to counter that you need to put it, say, inside a sleeping bag liner. Now the sleeping bag liner and 3/4 length goes inside the hammock. If I fold it in half lengthways, it makes it easier to pop inside. Now my hammock here has this extra material sewn in. Part of it is coyote brown, and then you've got the green, and it really helps just to centre the mat that you already have in. Okay, let's test to see if this will slip. Under pressure, not a chance. It's put. Let's try this. Well, that solved the problem of my backside and the centre of my spine being cold in the night. I've got the under blanket here which solves the problems of my knees against the side and elbows against the side of the hammock. Now remember, I've got the pad and a down-filled under blanket, all in 35 litres. There's a housing at the back for a camelback with 2 litres, and the extra pockets to accommodate a stove set. That just leaves my top section like an over blanket or something, but it's got to fit in with my challenge of getting it into a 35 litre pack. But here I'm going to show you my top insulation. This is the British Army jungle bag, and this is going to be my top insulation. Now, if I'm honest with you, I much prefer using a softy suit, and that is what will be coming out with me in the summer, is a softy suit, and I wear that straight on to bare skin. So I strip off and put the softy suit on, and softy suits are so much nicer and warmer and more comfortable if you sleep with it straight onto bare skin. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to show you with the jungle sleeping bag. I'm going to unzip it. I'm just going to leave a foot box area at the bottom and put my feet into it. I'm going to take my shoes off here, feet into there, and use it just like a duvet. Now, how insulated I will be from the top, I really don't know, but I can tuck myself in as well. Well, so far so good. The 35 litre summer hammock setup looks quite feasible so far. If it should get any colder, I have here a little sleeping bag to go over this sleeping bag, and it has a kind of mylar inner. It's a lot stronger than mylar, and I can just put this over the foot end, slide it up like any other sleeping bag. Now, it's said to save about 85 or 90% of your body heat from escaping, and actually the best way of putting this on is to stand on the ground, pull it up over your head and sit back down. I'm going to fall out like this. But straight away, using the Soloscape bivvy and my British Army jungle bag, my feet have gone instantly warm. I can pull this up, and the shell as well. This will easily, I think, save me in that meridian hour when it goes cold. This is a summer setup. I have other setups which are best in other seasons, but I want to see just how far I can take this system. Okay, that's my summer system, and it all fits into 35 litres. Now, when I get home, I'm going to get it weighed. That weight won't include things like water, a stove, a pan set. It's just what you've seen here and the bag itself. And the bag is a 35 litre Recon. It's one I've had years. It's tough as old boots. If I think I can get away with this system, and I think I can, for the summer, this is coming out with me on the weekend. I'll film it and you can see the results of just how low I can take a system like this. I can tell you so far, this is really warm. It's a lot better than I ever thought it would be. It's very warm. So I don't usually use stuff sacks. All this would just be loose filled straight into that pack. But I'm going to put them back in stuff sacks, lay them all out, including the hammock, so you can see just how little is here. Okay, let's have a quick shufty at what I've got here. 3/4 length inflatable. Now, I do have the British Army version of that. This is the down under blanket by Hammock Gear. Standard British issue jungle sleeping bag. I haven't compressed it yet. This is the Soloscape bivvy and the Sea to Summit reactor. A couple of bungees to hang the under blanket, and the hammock itself, which incorporates a whoopee system and tree huggers. Just a 35 litre Recon. Mine's in tan. It blends in a treat here. What I've discovered is if you have a waistband on your patrol packs or your recon packs, use it and carry the weight around your waist and slacken it right off, completely right off. The only job of the shoulder straps is to stop it falling backwards, not to carry the weight. The weight should be carried on the waist, and I've done that even on my Bergen, and that's 120 litres, and I've got a much heavier kit in. The same things apply. I do the waistband up really, really tight. It has to sit over your hip bone, which is here, so my belt would sit here. And then I can loosen off the shoulder straps almost completely and carry the weight that way. And that works a treat. It really does help carry that load, and it feels a lot lighter. But my setup is so light compared to a lot of things I've been carrying out in the past. There's no need for me to do the waistband up. 35 litres, everything I need for a summer hammock hang. Now the basher, which you haven't seen, I use a poncho. Where would that be housed? There's no extra room in the pack for the poncho, it goes underneath. It's just tied on. Inside the poncho I have a couple of extra webbings and some extra cordage. It's pretty simple, and a couple of pegs as well. So there's my lightweight hammock summer setup, and I'll be out with that this weekend. So if you want to see that episode, if you're not subbed already, get subbed. You'll see that night out with this very system, and hopefully I'll see you there.